Hi, I'm Keith Cotter and welcome to the HSB Academy tutorial session. In today's session we're going to learn about the framing style editor. Now, the framing style editor is probably fundamentally the most important area in the entire framing in HSB design, because this is where you set up all your various zones. A zone is essentially your sheeting, your structural components in the wall, and basically how you connect all of these together. So today we're going to learn about how you set up that framing style. Okay, let's set up some framing styles. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a Revit wall. Now I want to draw your attention to, within this template I've already defined two Revit wall types, and the makeup of these Revit wall types is essentially that we have a structure of brick 100mm, I have a structure of timber of 140mm, and on two sides of this wall, on one side I have an OSB orientated board 9mm, and I have a gypsum plasterboard 12.5mm. Furthermore, I also have set up an 89mm wide wall as well. So we just want to bear that in mind, that I previously set this up in this template file. The other thing I want to draw your attention to now as well is I have set up some hsbCad families, and the two families that I've set up here are the beam family, and in there I have a 38 by 89 and I have a 38 by 140. These are essentially timbers that I have set up using the hsbCad family. These families you can find inside in your program files in your setup that you have on your PC. Furthermore, I also have a hsbCad sheet family, and there I have set up a gypsum and an OSB family. Now, a little bit of advice regarding the hsbCad sheet family, because we need to use this particular sheet family, and we'd advise you to use this because we need the name in there, and we need the name sheet inside that family for the framing style to work. Also, this sheet family has scripts that are used for stretching, and we've also got instant props, so you don't need all the types. In other words, you don't need a family for every width of sheet that you can imagine in sheets. However, for beams we can work with our studs and other entities without a problem, but sheeting gives us the most flexibility and best performance in the HSB sheet family, and it has extra properties and configurations for which the framing style editor needs. To load the HSB beam and the HSB sheet family, you go to File and you open the family, and this will be found under your C drive, Program Data, Autodesk, Application Plugin, and depending on the version of your Revit install and the HSB design version, you would then select that on your PC, and you would then browse to the families folder. Again, depending on the version of Revit that you're using, you would then open that and you would hit the HSB timber folder. In here you will find the HSB beam and the HSB sheet family, and there you load those. Okay, let's head up to the framing styles editor, and you'll find this under the hsbStickFrame ribbon. This is the ribbon that HSB design has, and on the far left we have the framing style editor. Now the framing styles editor will allow you to set up all your framing types that you require on your project. I'm going to enlarge the screen to make it easier to understand. Now, in here we have our first area, the inventory, and this is a really cool feature. It's going to help you a lot with setting up your framing style. What is an inventory? Well, an inventory will allow us to put in as less detail as possible, but give us the most flexibility in the framing style. Sounds strange, I know? Bear with me and I'll explain it. So here we've got these aliases, and we've got a default beam and we have a default sheet. By default, the framing style editor will always work with these aliases, And that basically means that if you do not set up any inventories, it will always use what's called a default beam and a default sheet. But we're not going to do that. We're going to set up our own aliases. And the first alias that I'm going to set up is an alias here called Zone 0. Now what is Zone 0? We call the central structural area in our timber frame, where mainly all the timbers are, as Zone 0. So that's what our Zone 0 is representing here. The next alias I'm going to add is Zone 1. Now this Zone 1 is going to represent our OSB sheet, which is on the outside of our Zone 0. And you remember in our Revit wall I had set up these various sheetings as well. So I'm mapping those zones to those sheets on the wall as we speak at the moment. And finally I'm going to add another zone, and this zone is going to become Zone -1, the opposite side to Zone 1. So we've got our three aliases here, and now we're going to use these in our framing styles. So let's head over to our framing styles now. Here we get our framing styles using this option here. And the first thing we're presented with is adding a group. Now we use the groups in order to group our various framing style type walls together. So if you had a group of external walls, you could group them in a group called external. Likewise internal walls, or even party walls that divide the building. But for now we're going to keep this quite straightforward. I'm going to create a group here, and I'm going to call that group external. So this is called the external group now, and I'm going to add a framing style. Adding a framing style, I'm going to give it a unique code, and in this case I'm keeping it simple. I'm going to give it a code A, and I'm going to call this a 140 external wall. So it's not called 140. Now for my default beam, it's currently using the family called hsbCad beam default. And you recall I showed you earlier that we had already preloaded some families inside in this template. So for my default, I'm going to say that if I do not specify any inventory alias, I wanted to use a 38 by 140. Likewise for a sheet, I'm going to tell it to use the OSB sheet family. But more than often, I will never really use any of these defaults. I'm going to use my own aliases that I've set up here. So for Zone 0, we're setting up the 140 external wall. So I'm going to use a 38 by 140. For my Zone 1, I'm going to set up an OSB. And for my Zone -1, I'm going to set up gypsum. So we've got all our aliases set up now. So why are we even setting these up? Next, we're heading into zones. So and I head into the zones area, and this is the first area where we really begin to go and set up this framing style in detail. So the first thing I want to draw your attention to is our real-time viewer, and I'm going to enlarge that up here to show you what this is. What is this? This reacts on every change that you make in the framing style. So the first thing we're going to notice here is that I have my Zone 0, which is my central zone, and in here I currently have a 140 thickness, and I'm using what is called a zone filler. A zone filler is how we describe what we're going to put in every zone on our wall. So in this case we're using what's called a beam distribution filler, and on the far right we see what that filler contains. Every filler has its own properties. So here in this one we have a material called default beam, but I don't want to use that. I want to use my Zone 0 alias inventory that I had set up earlier, and that immediately sets a number of what I call type properties and instant properties, and that's now using the family that I have set up earlier on inside this template. The next thing I'm going to do is, and this is really cool now, watch how I can now change the view around, and I can basically show any aspect of this particular element. And for purposes of this clarification, I'm going to change it also in visualization to X-ray, so we can now see the zones as well. And watch what happens now. I'm going to add a zone here now, and it's called Zone 1. In this case, my zone filler has switched to a sheeting distribution. So I have begun to understand that I'm building up now a wall, but I could also add another beam distribution filler. But in this case, I'm adding a sheet distribution. And over here, I'm going to add a zone 1 distribution. And immediately it picks up all the properties of my zone. And just to make this easier, I'm going to call this an OSB zone. But look what happens in the real-time viewer. I can now see the sheeting being added to my framing style. Likewise, I'm now going to add a zone 1, -1. And up here, I'm going to add a zone -1. And for pure purposes of this demonstration, I'm also going to add the name for this particular sheeting zone called gypsum. So now what we've got is we've got a build up of our wall showing our 140 material, which is our timber, our 9mm OSB, and our 12.5mm gypsum. But that's not all we can do. Let's take a look at the fillers in particular now. And this is where we're going to begin to really look at the properties. And as I mentioned to you earlier on, the flexibility of the framing style is what's key here. And you're going to love this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to activate zone 1. And I'm going to look at this in a front view. Now, over here we have our various zones, and I'm going to turn off my -1 zone so I can no longer see this anymore. And I'm going to draw your attention here to, if I zoom in a little bit more, you begin to see that the sheeting is not aligned to the studs. And this really cool feature here is called a rely on. And I'm going to tell my zone 1 material you need to rely on the stud zone as your setting out point. And immediately you'll begin to see it now adjusts to that particular zone on itself. As we scroll down here, you can see there are multiple options for this filler zone, and it'll be up to you to take a look at some of these options, but let me draw your attention to maybe some of them. And first of all, we're going to use this one here where we place a beam behind the horizontal direction. And if I check this on, you'll now see that wherever there's a split sheet horizontally, it'll automatically put a nogging behind that particular sheet. Cool feature, eh? Next, we're going to make some subtle changes, and you're going to begin to see how I do a change where it adds now additional studs. To do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight zone -1 gypsum, and currently this has a width sheet of 600. I'm going to change that now to 300. Now it appears that nothing has happened, but if I now say to this particular sheet, turn on zone -1 and turn off zone 0, you now have this result. And imagine for one moment that you needed also to have studs at these sheet splits that we have here as well. Well, all I'm going to do is you'll want to tell zone 0 to respect zone -1. And now what you've got is a very flexible framing style where zone 1 is respecting zone 0 and zone 0 is respecting -1. And this is basically the setup that you can do in order to make your framing style flexible. And last but not least, if you do want to orientate in this real-time viewer, right click on your mouse, and hence you can now view your entire framing style that you've just set up for these purposes. And just when you think everything is done for your framing style, let me show you where you now can really use your inventory aliases, which I pointed out at the very beginning of this session. Remember, I created two wall types, a 140 and an 89. Well, let's go back here to this 140. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to hit this button here where I can duplicate a wall type. What that does, it copies everything related to the 140 external and makes a new wall type here. In this case, I'm going to rename this as a B code, and I'm going to change the width description to 89. Now this is where the aliases come alive. Remember I said you set up your own aliases. Well, now if I change this 38 by 140 to a 38 by 89, it now means I have got my new wall type 89 external with all its properties that I set up inside in the 140, but all copied over. So with one simple change, I'm able to change the entire width of the framing style and not touch any of these properties. Now that's why you want to use the Framing Styles editor. I'm Keith Cotter. Thank you for watching this session, and I hope to see you in the upcoming sessions.